all kinds of information about them we've got in here. It's what unit of the organization they're in, what office, their title, their birthday if they want people to know their birthday, and some biographical information such as their education and activities, and of course a picture. This helps everybody to know who everybody is. And of course there's different ways that you can view the directory here. We've got all staff. If you want to know who somebody's assistant is, that's a bit of information we've added in there. So we can find out Sherry Howard's assistant is Annalise Slocum. A nice central point for that type of stuff. If you don't just want to look through the photos, you saw somebody, you weren't sure who they were, just go and look through just all those photos. There's the birthday calendar, since we have everybody's birthday in there. You can find out who was, what everybody's birthday was this month. Let's see, we've got a quick way to find people's extensions by their name or by their office. Does that grouping stuff that we've seen you can do with SharePoint. That's everybody in Akron, and there's all their extensions. Okay? And other different ways to groups, like we see there by office, by what unit or department they're in. We have 54 people in our extended services. That's a lot of people. By job title, we can see who's a legal assistant or who's a staff attorney. Let's see, 21 legal assistants. And job categories, all kinds of different bits of information we put in there. We can group and sort people by all those bits. And of course, if you've seen, we can get an alert anytime someone's added or removed from the staff directory. Do an RSS feed as well. And you can search in the staff directory. Like if we search for me, I should come up there. That's my record right there. And these are the two people that I'm an assistant to. There we go. Okay. Well, the announcements in the calendar and the staff directory are three of the cool things that we put together to start off with. Let's take a look at some of the other areas that we have on Legal Aid Connect so far. If we go through the tabs up at the top, administration and service delivery are two areas that are kind of meant to hold things, reference things that a lot of people in the organization are going to want to go to, a lot of forms and things like that. Right now, this is kind of a dump of stuff that we had on a network share. You'll see things like under administration, things like timesheets, expense reports, training requests, our newsletter, technology tips, lots of corporate things like financial statements, board minutes, things like that. Right now, it's just a real quick dump of those things out here. Eventually, we're going to make it look a lot fancier, a lot nicer. And we have a similar type of thing in service. Service delivery is meant towards things where people are actually working with the clients, their actual job that they actually do. Has things like applications, release of information forms for working with cases like citizenship forms, things like that. A lot of that, contracts that we have, a lot of those type of things. And again, eventually this will get organized a lot better, a lot nicer looking, but it's just something that we have out there for now. Teams and projects is one of the areas that's probably going to grow the most. This is where we've got a lot of our team sites, and we're going to talk about that in depth in just a little bit. So we'll come back to that. The Search Center is, of course, one of the fun parts of the intranet, something new. We hadn't had anything like this before we launched our intranet. This allows us to search for anything anywhere on our network. Let's look for priorities. We say we want to know what our corporate priorities are. We search for that. Right off the top, we've got about 300 different results, 300 documents on our network that have the word priorities in there. We've got some best bets to find at the top. If you're looking for priorities, we figure the odds are you're looking for an emergency non-priority case request, or looking to find out what their priorities are for our organization. So we can just click on that and it opens up. There's the priorities for cases and matters. Okay. And let's say you'll see also down over here on the right-hand side, this is a nice feature that comes with it. These are called federated search results. You can get search results from other places other than just your network. SharePoint comes set up with stuff for Microsoft's Live Search. And it gives you results as though you had gone to their site and searched for the word priorities. So just in case, this can give you some other ideas of things you might be looking for. And there's also advanced search, lets you do some fancy searching. If you want to search for more than just one word, you can say it has to have these words, doesn't have these words. You can narrow your search down to just particular parts of our network. Everywhere on our network, the different drive letters that we still have defined. Again, there's that staff directory or the announcements. You can pick particular properties that you want to match, like the author or the date it was modified, and we'll talk about the properties a little bit more later on. We'll see some fancy things that you can do with that. Okay. That's a lot of the major things that we have on our site in general. Now I want to take a look in depth at the team sites. This is going to be this is kind of the core of SharePoint. It's going to show you a lot of the fancy capabilities that are there, the way that your team is going to go to this point to share a lot of stuff with each other. Okay. Right now we don't have a lot of teams set up, but we're working on it right now. We're going to go through our example team that I've set up just that shows a lot of the capabilities of team sites. And one of the first things to talk about is some of the terminology that SharePoint uses. They talk about sites a lot. A lot of the times when we think of a website, we think of separate domains, like Microsoft.com or Yahoo.com as being different sites. In SharePoint, sites are all built kind of under your one website. Like if you look up at the URL up here, at the top you'll see Connect is the name of our SharePoint server. And then we've got the Teams is our team section, and then there's the example site. If we go back to some of the other team sites, you'll see the URL changes to technology, and that's a site. And then some of our other sites that we have below technology for our different projects, like that's Legal Aid Connect. That's our project for developing this site. And you'll see the URL changes there as a Connect site. So sites are kind of like you might think of as folders in a sense, but have lots of different features with them. So just don't be confused. By site doesn't mean a totally separate website. Okay. And then we're going to look at a lot of the features that SharePoint provides, and it provides them through what SharePoint likes to call libraries and lists. Libraries are kind of like the document libraries that we're going to look at, kind of like folders where you'd store documents. Lists are kind of like databases or spreadsheets. That's SharePoint's terminology. Well, let's take a look at our example team homepage. And I've configured this how I wanted it to. When you create a new team site, there's not much that shows on it to begin with. So I've added a bunch of stuff. I can set it up however I want. I put this little picture on here to kind of show a team. I put this announcements here. I added a couple of other things. I put together this little grid with these links to different parts of the team. This was some HTML that I hand-coded to make these guys show up here. You've got over here on, I put some of these kind of to make some of the links obvious, but over here on the left-hand side, you have what's called the quick launch bar that shows everything that you've got on your site. You can configure this in different ways. So I've grouped a lot of the features into different areas like information, collaboration, and calendaring. And we're going to look through each one of these. Let's see. One of the nice things that SharePoint provides was, as we get into looking at documents and tasks, you'll see right on the home page I've set up for every team member, there's a My Tasks in a My Documents section. And this shows the tasks that are assigned to them and the documents that are checked out by them or that they've worked on or that they're the owner of, basically. So it's a quick way to look at stuff that belongs to them. That's a feature built into SharePoint. And we'll show you real quick how you can change your page. If you go to the Site Actions menu, if you have appropriate permissions, you can edit the page. And you can move stuff around there. All the little boxes here, these are web parts. They'll let you display different content, let you show pictures, show announcements, stuff from your lists, your databases, the My Tasks and My Documents web parts that are built into SharePoint. And I can drag stuff around. Just kind of like the gadgets if you used iGoogle, similar to that. You can move stuff around. If you don't like it, you can click the edit menu and then delete it. I don't want that task list showing up anymore, and then it doesn't show up there. Right? And then it's gone. And then we hit exit edit mode. Of course, since I'm an administrator, I just changed the page that everyone gets to see. So everybody will now see these changes that I've made.